I never felt sad when my dad and the woman he cheated with had miscarriages. My dad was unfaithful to my mom for years. When I was 9, my mom got sick and died 4 months later. While she was sleeping most of the day because of how sick she was, my dad had already started bringing his girlfriend around. He never formally introduced her to me, but he also stopped trying to hide her from everyone else. The day after my mom's funeral, he moved that woman into our house. Her name was Linda. 6 months later, they got married. I was 10 years old watching my dad marry the same woman he'd been cheating with while my mom was dying. I hated both of them. Later, I learned it was even worse than I thought. They'd actually been together since I was around 2 or 3 years old. That meant this woman had been there in the background for basically my whole childhood. Right after the wedding, they started trying to have a baby. Linda got pregnant quickly, but she kept miscarrying. It happened 6 or 7 times over a few years, and a couple of them were late in the pregnancy. After one of the later miscarriages, I came home from school and Linda was crying on the couch. She'd apparently been there for days, just sobbing and barely leaving the house. I walked past her and went straight to my room. My dad stopped me in the hallway and told me I needed to go comfort my stepmom. I looked at him like he'd lost his mind. "She's not my stepmom. She's your mistress," I said. He immediately started yelling at me about how I needed to stay out of adult business and show respect. So I told him the miscarriages were adult business too, and I was staying out of it exactly like he said. He grounded me for a week. When I was about 13, Linda had another miscarriage. This time they sat me down at the kitchen table like it was some serious family discussion. Linda was already crying before they even said anything. My dad told me they had lost the baby again and that they probably weren't going to be able to give me a little brother or sister. I just stared at them. I didn't cry. I didn't apologize. I didn't react at all. Linda completely broke down. She started sobbing even harder and asked where my sadness was. She kept saying these babies were my siblings and asking how I could not care. That's when I finally said what I'd been thinking for years. "I'm not sad, and I never wanted you to have kids together." My dad's face turned purple with anger. For the next 3 days, he tried to force me to apologize and take it back, but I refused. I meant what I said. Linda said she couldn't live in the same house with me if I was going to wish bad things on their babies. So my dad sent me to live with my uncle and aunt. I was 14 years old when I got kicked out of my own home because I wouldn't pretend to care about my dad's affair baby. I've lived with my uncle's family ever since. My dad and I barely talk. Maybe once every few months he sends a text. 3 weeks ago he called me out of nowhere. He told me that he and Linda never ended up having the baby they wanted, and that they eventually stopped trying. Then he asked if I finally felt sad about all the babies they lost. He kept calling them my siblings. I told him the truth. "No, I don't feel sad. You're a cheater. She's a mistress, and I never wanted you to have kids together." He called me heartless. He said I needed to learn how to be human, because babies dying is always sad. According to him, the fact that I don't feel anything about those pregnancies makes me inhuman. My therapist says there's nothing wrong with how I feel. She told me some of my anger probably isn't healthy, but not feeling attached to those pregnancies is completely normal. My dad hasn't called me since.